Why would he do this? Why would he go? And that's question number 2, FAQ.
So why would he do this? I think there's a couple reasons. I think there's more reasons, like just from a competitive standpoint, for why he would stay. And that's simply like compete for titles, compete for play in the Champions League and compete for the Champions League. And we know how much of a competitor Casemiro is. He's built this legacy and this dynasty, and it may not be done. And that's something that's on his mind. And I think he's, above all, a Real Madrid fan. Like, you can hear them, like, just how much he's got the Madridista spirit. Like, you can hear it when he talks, and he loves the club. So I think all those things are probably weighing on him. But the other flip side of it is, okay, why would he join Manchester United? Well, one, the big elephant in the room is that they're willing to give him a 5-year contract at 30 years old, so it goes till he's 35, and guarantee him double his salary now. So that's 20, from what we know, from what reports have shown, and I kind of used this this week on the Monday Musings. The Football Reference now has wages as part of their website, and it's they're using it through a company called Capology or something. But anyways, they have Casemiro's current salary, which is around, it's 9.8 million. So we say 10 million, and Manchester United is willing to double that and give him 20 million a year. So he's only got 3 years left on his current contract versus a 5-year deal with Manchester United. Like, if you total those years up and the salaries up, that's a 70 million gap. I mean, that's substantial. That's material. And I know there's people saying that, like, well, you're already a millionaire. Like, what's the difference? But I think, like, at the end of the day, there were a ton of people in my mentions that were going, oh, I'd take that in a second. Yeah, Casemiro got to go. I totally respect him for leaving. Like, tons of people understood it when you put it in that context. So there's both sides of it. But I think that's a big part of it. And then, two, who knows? Maybe he wants his, like, children to have an experience in England and learn English. And maybe he wants to see if he can help raise this team from the ashes and really make a big difference and challenge himself in a different way after all these successful years at Real Madrid. Like, maybe that appeals to him. I wouldn't think so, but, like, those are kind of the things that are on the table. Oh, you're muted, Keon.
My bad. So the idea that he wouldn't, like, he's making so much money that why would he want more? I think people who are asking that question, they're operating at a completely different paradigm than these rich guys are. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, people who are thinking, like, oh, well, if he's making, like, this many million, but he, like, why would he want this many million more? Rich athletes and rich people generally don't think like that. Like, if you're a millionaire, you're trying to figure out how to make 100 million. If you have 100 million, you're trying to figure out how to make $500 million. If you're half a billion, you're trying to make you're trying to become a billionaire. That's the way these mindsets work. Now, I'm not saying Casemiro thinks like that or doesn't, and obviously there are always exceptions to the rules. But generally speaking, people who a lot of these people, I think, are operating as fans and thinking like fans, and that means they're thinking emotionally and not logically. If you're Casemiro and all of a sudden you can double your salary, sort out your entire family tree for generations to come, you got to think about it. You know, it's actually selfish of you not to think about that, because you're talking about the amount of people you could affect in your life, your loved ones and all that stuff. Now, having said that, you mentioned this to me on Slack that he's probably underpaid right now. If you look at what his salary is, he's just below the Thibaut Courtois threshold. Like, there's a little bit of a gap. Like obviously Hazard's making basically Jeff Bezos money to do nothing, but then you have all the stars. I'm talking about the Benzemas, the Cruz, and then the new signings like the Rudigers, the Alabas. They got decent contracts. Casemiro's in that threshold below, and he's kind of on like the Asensio level, Militao level, and Ferland Mendy level. I think there's definitely a case that he should be making more than that. So, what the club can do, if they don't want to sell Casemiro but are maybe open to it, what they can say is like, okay, because to me, there's no sporting reason to do this. There's no, like, you can't tell me him in his sane mind would look at Manchester United and say, oh, I would love to rescue that team. No one's rescuing that team. And by the way, these reports that I don't know if you saw, there's reports coming from Manchester United beat writers today, like reputable ones, saying that sources from the locker room say that the players don't agree with Ten Hag's philosophy. Like, enough. You guys haven't agreed with anyone's philosophy. Like, what magical unicorn manager are you guys going to say fits your magical skill set that is so good that you can't listen to anybody else? I don't want to hear any of that. But no way Casemiro looks at that situation and is like, I want to be a part of that. I'm going to help them. No way. And so it's a financial thing. So the club can come in and say, look, if it's financial, we can offer you this. It doesn't have to match Manchester United's salary, but it could maybe come close to it. And I think that's where, if fans would get upset at the club for not wanting to do that, I think that's subjective. I think personally,
I don't know that the club's pressure to do that though. Like, I feel like there's absolutely no reason for them to do that.
I'm just saying that I think that's an option if the club really didn't want to lose them. But I personally don't think the club is in that mindset right now, because while they're grateful and thankful for everything Casemiro's done, they did just spend like almost 100 million on not a replacement, but somebody who can compete with his position is promising and they could have for the next decade. And they also have bad memories of giving big contracts to 30-plus-year-olds. So for that reason, I think the club would be like, if you want to take it, we respect it. Question number 3. What's up, Madridistas on YouTube? This is Kiyan Sobani. What you just witnessed was a small clip from a very lengthy podcast, over an hour long, that happened over on patreon.com/Managing Madrid, where Matt and I broke down the Casemiro situation to a T, and also discussed the performances of Brahim Diaz, Luka Jovic, Takefusa Kubo on the opening weekend of some of the league action. And we also discussed the new moves for Reinier Jesus and Antonio Blanco. And we talked about so many other things. So if you want access to a ton of exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/Managing Madrid. You get a ton of bonus content per week. It's as little as $3 per month. The $3 gets you in access to everything, the entire back catalog and everything that we put out. So again, patreon.com/Managing Madrid if you like this content. And we'll see you on the inside. And thank you, and Hala Madrid.